You know what's crazy? Some of the most dangerous features in automotive history were not hidden defects. They were completely standard, normal, expected on every car your family ever owned. Design choices that killed people by the thousands, while everyone just accepted them. Some of these will genuinely shock you. Stick around for number 9. Your mother held you in her lap at 60 miles per hour, and nobody thought twice. 1. Vacuum windshield wipers. Early cars powered the windshield wipers using engine vacuum. That sounds fine, until you understand the problem. When you accelerated hard or climbed a steep hill, vacuum dropped and your wipers slowed down or stopped completely. Imagine your wipers dying right when you are passing a truck in the rain at highway speed. Electric wipers with consistent power are now required by safety standards. Vacuum wipers sit on display. Right next to the cars, they failed in the museum. Number 2. No anti-lock brakes. Wheel lockup. Mandatory in 2012. For most of automotive history, if you slammed on the brakes, your wheels locked and you just slid. No steering control, no ability to steer around whatever you were heading toward. You were just hoping you stopped in time. Anti-lock brakes became mandatory on new United States vehicles in 2012. They pulse brake pressure faster than any human can, keeping the wheels rolling so you can still steer while stopping. Locked wheels do not stop faster, they just slide. 3. Protruding chrome bumpers. 5 miles per hour standard, 1973. Those massive chrome bumpers on a 1950s Chevrolet stuck straight out, with sharp mounting points several inches from the body. In a pedestrian impact, they could break legs like snapping twigs. Modern bumpers must meet specific height requirements, absorb a specified amount of energy, and have no sharp protrusions. Regulations specify everything from bumper height to deformation force. Those chrome bars from the 1950s were beautiful to look at. They are absolutely illegal on modern vehicles. Number 4. Non-recessed chrome door handles. Chrome door handles that stuck straight out looked absolutely fantastic on every American car of the era. Here is the terrifying part. They were also perfect for catching pedestrians and cyclists, hooks that grabbed clothing or flesh and pulled people under the car. Modern door handles must be flush or recessed enough not to catch on a person. Those beautiful protruding chrome handles were style choices that modern regulations simply will not allow. Number 5. Metal window cranks. Manual window crank handles in old cars were solid metal and pointed directly at your torso. In a side impact, those cranks could break ribs, puncture organs, and cause massive internal injuries. Modern cars require flush or recessed controls, and most power windows eliminate the protruding crank entirely. Those metal handles were interior impact hazards. Everything inside the cabin now has to be designed with crash forces in mind. 6. Exposed spare tire mounts, protected mounts now required. Some cars mounted the spare tire on the outside, either on the rear or on the side. Classic Jeeps, Land Rovers, and pickup trucks often used these exposed spares. In a serious accident, those mounts could fail, and a 65-pound steel wheel became a projectile, flying into other vehicles or into pedestrians. Modern regulations now require spare tires to be secured inside the vehicle or in protected underbody compartments. Those exposed spares on old rigs look iconic, but they are not legal on new vehicles in most markets. 7. Swing-out rear windows, no safety glass, simple latch. Some wagons and vans had rear windows that swung open like a door, with a simple latch and no safety glass. This was a nightmare. In a rollover, those latches failed and the window flew open. People were ejected onto the road. Modern regulations require all windows to withstand specific crash forces, and all glass must be safety rated. That simple latch was the only thing between the passengers and the pavement. Cars before the 1970s vented everything straight out the exhaust: carbon monoxide, unburned hydrocarbons, and nitrogen oxides. All of it went into the air around every car on every road. Cars were literally poison machines on wheels. The Clean Air Act now requires catalytic converters and emission controls. Modern cars emit a fraction of what old engines did. For 2 generations of Americans, every traffic jam was a slow gas chamber. Number 9. No child car seats. All states had passed car seat laws by 1985. This is the one that stops people cold. Before the mid-1980s, there were no federal child car seat requirements. Children rode in their parents' laps at highway speed. They rolled around the cargo area. They stood on the back seat. In a frontal crash at 30 miles per hour, an unrestrained child becomes a 30 to 40-pound projectile at full impact speed. Your parents drove you this way. Completely normal. Completely deadly. 10. Asbestos brake linings, standard through the 1980s. From the 1940s through the 1980s, brake linings in American cars were made with asbestos, a proven carcinogen. Every mechanic who changed your brake pads created asbestos dust, and they breathed it. The latency period for mesothelioma is 20 to 50 years. Mechanics who worked on brakes in the 1960s and the 1970s are still dying today. Asbestos brake linings were standard equipment on every car for 40 years. 11. All drum brakes, fade on descents. Front disc brakes became standard in the early 1970s. Every American car in the 1950s and 1960s had drum brakes on all 4 wheels, which was fine around town. Here is the terrifying part. Drum brakes fade under sustained heat. If you descend a mountain pass for 5 miles, the brake lining can glaze. The pedal firms up, and nothing happens. You are pressing the brakes in a car that has no brakes. Before disc brakes, every mountain road was a test of how much fade your drums had left. Number 12. Bias ply tires. Industry knew since 1946, Michelin proved radial tires were safer than bias ply in 1946. Better grip. Far fewer blowouts at highway speed. So what happened? American automakers shipped bias ply tires as standard equipment for 25 more years. Bias ply tires overheated on highway runs and blew out with almost no warning at 65 miles per hour. The industry knew the safer option existed. They chose the cheaper one. 25 years, the industry knew. 13. Exhaust-heated cabin heaters, carbon monoxide. Volkswagen Beetles and several other vehicles used exhaust-heated cabin heaters, routing engine exhaust through a heat exchanger into the cabin. When that exchanger cracked, carbon monoxide entered directly. Carbon monoxide is odorless. You feel drowsy, then confused, then nothing. Owners drove long winter trips with the heat on and never connected the symptoms until someone collapsed. This was not a defect discovered later. This was the factory design. Approved, standard. Sold to your family. Number 14. Lap-only 2-point seatbelt. The lap belt felt like progress. After decades of nothing, at least something held you in. Here is the problem. A 2-point lap belt restrained your hips, but not your torso. In a frontal crash, your upper body jackknifed forward at full impact speed, while your pelvis stayed put. Fatal abdominal injuries. The belt that was supposed to save you was cutting you in half. The 3-point shoulder belt became mandatory in 1968. Before that, a safety feature that killed differently. 15. No door anti-burst latch, FM VUAS 206 1968. Your car door was solid, heavy, reassuring. You closed it and heard that satisfying chunk. Here is a nightmare. Before 1968, Dr. Latches had no strength requirement. In a crash, impact force could trigger the latch and the door could fly open. You could be thrown out of the car. Ejection makes you 5 times more likely to die. Anti-burst latches became mandatory in 1968. Before that, you were 1 impact away from your door opening beneath you and the road coming up fast. 16. No roof crush resistance. Federal Motor Vehicle Safety. Standard number 216, 1971. The American car roof was solid steel. It looked strong. It felt strong. So what happened? Before 1971, car roofs had no federal crush resistance requirement. If you rolled your car at 40 miles per hour, the roof came straight down onto whoever was inside. Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standard number 216 required roofs to support 1.5 times the vehicle weight starting in 1971. Before that, a rollover was not a crash, it was a collapse. 17. Flammable seat foam. Polyurethane seat foam that ignited easily. Every car seat was cushioned with polyurethane foam, soft and comfortable. Here is a nightmare. Standard polyurethane ignites at 500 degrees Fahrenheit, and it spreads in seconds. After a crash, fires often turned the seat you were sitting in into the primary fuel source. The Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standard 302 required self-extinguishing materials in 1972. Before that, every car seat in America was built from the same material as kindling, not the fuel tank, the seat. 18. No padded steering wheel hub. FMVSS 203, 1968. The steering wheel center hub in every classic American car was beautiful, chrome, solid, the part you pressed for the horn. It was solid cast metal. In a frontal crash, your chest and face traveled forward to meet that hub at full impact speed. FMVSS 203 required energy-absorbing wheel centers in 1968. The elegant chrome boss that defined every American interior was also the mechanism that broke drivers' faces. You pressed it to announce yourself. It was waiting. Number 19. No center high-mounted stoplight. Mandated 1986. 2 brake lights at bumper height used to be the universal standard. Here's the thing. A center high-mounted stoplight puts your brake signal directly in the natural line of sight of the driver behind you. They do not have to look down to see it. A 1985 NHTSA study showed one eye-level light reduced rear-end collisions by 4.3%, 17,000 fewer injuries in the first year alone. Mandated in 1986. One light. 17,000 people. Every single year. Number 20. No side marker lights. Federal Motor Vehicle Safety, Standard 108, 1968. Before 1968, American cars had no lights on their sides at all. Headlights in front. Taillights in back. Nothing on either side. A car crossing an intersection at night was completely invisible to cross traffic. Federal Motor Vehicle Safety, Standard 108, mandated amber side marker lights in 1968. Before that, a nighttime T-bone often meant the other driver never saw your car until the moment of impact. No warning, no reaction time, just the dark. So there you have it. 20 features that were completely normal. Standard equipment. On every car your family ever owned. Nobody called them deadly. The salesman shook your father's hand, the kids piled in, and everyone drove away in a car with a seat that could catch fire, a door that would open in a crash, and a steering column waiting to impale the driver. Every regulation on this list was written in blood, not in boardrooms, in accident reports. The car in your driveway right now is a different machine. Not because the industry woke up, because enough people died that the government finally made them build something better. Leave a comment. Which one genuinely shocked you? I read every single one.